Have you ever wondered why some countries are wealthier than others, or why some products cost more than others? These questions, seemingly simple, are the crux of a complex system that dictates our lives. The economy. They make you ponder, don't they? And rightly so, because understanding these phenomena is like peering into the heart of our society. It's about time we demystify these concepts, don't you think? The answers to these questions lie in the realms of micro and macroeconomics. Microeconomics, as the name suggests, focuses on the smaller, individual elements of the economy. It's like peering through a microscope at the economic landscape, examining the intricate details that make up the larger picture. So, what exactly does microeconomics scrutinize? Well, it concentrates on phenomena that affect specific economic players. We're talking about individual consumers, households, and firms, and how they make decisions. It's all about understanding the choices they make, the factors influencing these decisions, and how they interact with markets. Now, let's delve into the heart of microeconomics, the law of supply and demand. This fundamental concept illustrates how prices are determined in a market economy. On one side, we have demand, which represents the consumer's willingness and ability to purchase goods and services. On the other side, we have supply, which represents how much the market can offer. When these two forces meet, they establish the equilibrium price, the price at which consumers are willing to buy the same amount that suppliers are willing to sell. But microeconomics doesn't stop at supply and demand. It also explores how individual firms decide on the quantity of goods to produce and the price to charge. It investigates how consumers decide what to purchase with their limited income. It studies market structures such as perfect competition, monopoly, and oligopoly, and how they affect market outcomes. Furthermore, microeconomics considers how government policies impact individual markets. For instance, how do taxes affect supply and demand? How does a minimum wage law impact the labor market? These are all questions that microeconomics seeks to answer. So, in essence, microeconomics is the study of how individuals and businesses make decisions about the allocation and distribution of resources. It's a fascinating field that sheds light on the choices that shape our economic world, one decision at a time. On the other hand, macroeconomics looks at the economy as a whole. It's like climbing to the top of a hill and looking down at the vast landscape below. It's all about the big picture. While microeconomics focuses on individual components, macroeconomics zooms out to consider the economy in its entirety. Let's dive into the core components of macroeconomics, shall we? First up is inflation, the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. It's like a slow, silent thief, chipping away at the value of your money over time. Then there's unemployment, which measures the number of people actively looking for a job as a percentage of the labor force. It's a crucial indicator of the economy's health. Next, we have economic growth. This is the increase in the amount of goods and services produced per head of the population over a period of time. It's a key measure of prosperity, and we typically want to see this number going up. Now let's talk about fiscal and monetary policy. Fiscal policy is how the government adjusts its spending levels and tax rates to monitor and influence a nation's economy. Think of it as the government's strategy in managing its money. On the other hand, monetary policy is what the central bank does to control the supply of money, often targeting an inflation rate or interest rate to ensure price stability and general trust in the currency. These elements all intertwine to create the complex web that is our economy. Macroeconomics helps us understand these relationships and how changes in one area can ripple through the rest. For instance, how an increase in government spending can stimulate economic growth, or how controlling inflation can impact unemployment rates. Therefore, macroeconomics is a bird's-eye view of the economy, analyzing larger economic factors and how they interact. While micro and macroeconomics may seem like two separate fields, they are, in fact, interconnected. Picture a bustling marketplace. Each stall represents a household or a firm, a microeconomic entity making decisions about what to buy, sell, and produce. These decisions are influenced by price levels, income, tastes, and expectations, all factors inherent to microeconomics. But then, zoom out. Look at the marketplace as a whole. It's a part of the city, the country, and ultimately, the global economy. This larger perspective is the realm of macroeconomics. It's concerned with aggregate indicators such as GDP, unemployment rates, and price indices. Here's the fascinating part. These two realms are not isolated. They influence each other in a continuous, dynamic interplay. For instance, when individuals make decisions based on their income, they affect the total spending in the economy, which in turn influences GDP. Similarly, a change in the overall economy, say a rise in unemployment rates, impacts the income levels and spending habits of individuals. The dance between micro and macroeconomics is like a feedback loop, a push and pull of cause and effect. It's a complex system where small changes can have large effects, and large-scale trends can influence the smallest of transactions. In conclusion, the interplay between micro and macroeconomics is what shapes our economy. Economics, whether it's micro or macro, is all about understanding how we make choices. Today, we've explored the fascinating worlds of both. We've seen how microeconomics hones in on individual units within the economy, studying how households and firms make decisions and interact in markets. On the other hand, macroeconomics takes a broader view, analyzing entire economies and how different sectors interact. It's about understanding big-picture issues like inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. But remember, these two fields are not isolated. They interplay, intertwining in complex ways. The decisions of individuals and firms, the realm of microeconomics, feed into the broader economic trends that macroeconomics seeks to understand. And those macroeconomic trends, in turn, shape the environment in which individuals and firms operate. Remember, every economic decision, no matter how small or large, has an impact. So keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep making informed decisions.